How do I add Paul? Whoa. This is, Paul, are you there? Oh, here we go. Whoa, this is me being very technically unsavvy. Oh my god, yeah.
Hey!
I can't hear you.
We are live.
This is the classic two people being very bad at tech, I think. Am I
Yeah.
sideways? Do I need to be the other way around?
You are sideways. Are
Great,
you
well,
lying
that's
your
a
phone
great
down like
start,
that?
isn't it? Whoa.
Whoa.
Travelled through the stones there.
Can you hear me okay?
Okay, can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
We're doing that thing that we said that we wouldn't do.
What?
The awkward chit chat at the beginning. Right, well, how are you?
I'm good. Yeah. I am chilling. How are you? What have you been up to?
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm kind of frustrated that I was left with the technicalities of starting this thing up because
but you're a
it made me
pro.
feel
You're
about
a pro. I'm trying to like get the
70 years
sun so
old.
it's not shining on my big forehead.
Yeah.
What you been up to these past couple of days? What you been up to?
Well, I've been doing a bit of this and a bit of that. I've been responding to messages from people who've seen the episode and enjoyed it.
Nice.
How about you?
I've been chilling. I was in London at the weekend. It was good. Yeah, we went to go see that the play that Jodie Comer's in. Prima Facie, which I think is the wrong pronunciation. But she was amazing. She was like amazing. She's a total powerhouse, and it was like her stage debut.
No way.
Yeah. So like she absolutely rocked it. And then I went to go see my pals play, which was great.
Right.
Went to the Natural History Museum because my pal was like desperate to go to the Natural History Museum.
Yeah, nice.
And then just been chilling in Glasgow. It's been chilling in Glasgow.
Gorge. I love that we're just having a conversation as if no one else is watching.
I know, we're just having like a chat. We're not
How are your
like
mum and dad? Tell me more.
Oh, they're doing great. How's your mum and dad doing?
Good. Yeah, good. Well, thank you. Yeah.
Have you done this before? You done like a live thing before?
No, I managed to avoid doing any Instagram lives during the pandemic, so that's why I'm so technically not very good at it.
What were those? Do your pals not do like Instagram lives? What were you telling me again?
I did. Oh god, yeah. Well, I was thinking that before because actually, to get me through the pandemic, we played Mafia on Zoom. I don't know if you've ever played Mafia. It's that game where
what is it again?
Like everyone's a villager. There's like two murderers. Everyone goes to sleep, wakes up, murderers have killed someone. And we kind of, each week we did different themes. So I did like a Tiger King theme where I dressed up as Joe Exotic.
Oh, I saw that was amazing.
Yeah, I did think about doing that for this, like playing something on the ukulele, which is actually there. It won't.
Oh, hello! Look at all those props you got there. What is that in the back? Is it many plants? Is that plants you got there, or you got
many
your record player?
They are not mine. I cannot keep a plant alive, famously.
That's not true. Yeah. Famously,
I am terrible at keeping plants alive. I once claimed to have brown fingers, and someone told me that meant something very different. Moving on. Right.
Everybody said Caitlin.
Are we waiting for the other twin to join us? Or...
Yeah, he's just coming. You coming out? No, he's a bit nervous. He's a bit nervous. He's a bit nervous.
That makes three of us.
He's not coming out. That was good. That was a good bit of that's a good bit of patter.
Thank you so much. Right. Should we crack on then?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's not stop talking. Yeah, well, let's stop talking. So questions.
Did you go for the hand holding of the phone?
Say that again.
You went for holding your phone.
I have, yes, because the sun is making my face very white, like you know that sun emoji. So, by the way, it's my cat.
should have got them to hold it.
She's just got them to hold it. The lack of thumbs of the couldn't do. I knew you would want to come in. She was desperate to come in. But now you're on the live. You happy?
Okay.
Okay, right. Let's do the questions. You got a wee Coke there? Is there a wee rum and Coke?
Yes, other fizzy drinks are available. I don't know. Right.
Yes, let's do the questions. Let's do it.
Right. Well, first of all, I just want to say thank you so much for the reception that we've had for the episode,
Yeah.
because it's been really special, hasn't it?
It's been absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much for just all the lovely comments. We see them all, and we're very thankful and grateful.
Yeah, and yeah, it's so nice to allow you guys to see. I mean, obviously the book fans will have expected it, but for the TV fans, it was probably as out of the blue as it was for us when
Absolutely,
we
yeah.
had to write the scripts. So hopefully you've been on this wild journey with us as well, with these characters, and it's been nice to show you a little bit of another side to them. Yeah, because I think that's what Outlander do so well, is keep you upon their toes.
Absolutely.
And I just want to apologise to anyone who follows either Paul and I, who do not watch Outlander, and are stepping into a conversation about incestuous threesomes, because...
Woo!
But hey, it's interesting.
Exactly.
Okay. We've been sent some questions. I'm going to start whittering on. Okay. So, Paul, I'm going to begin. Right.
Yeah, go for it.
Fanfic Addict 88 says, I'm so curious. Had either of you read the books beforehand and knew exactly what to expect in regards to your potential plot lines, or when/how were you clued in?
Wow, good question. So I did not know about it before when I got my edition. When I got my edition through, I went to the wonderful place that is Outlander Wiki, which provided me all my lovely facts. Whoever runs that site, thank you so much. The detail is amazing.
Genuinely, that is, I credit that site for having got me the role, because
I would also credit that site.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
It's like your entire journey's been mapped out by some amazing fans. So
absolutely.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you so much. So that, and then also I watched for my editions, I watched I think Sam and Kat did like a recap thing, because I didn't have time to binge the show. I could only get through the first season before my edition, so like I didn't have time to watch the other 3 at that point. So before that I didn't know, and then when I luckily got the part, I started to read the Fiery Cross, and then I kind of got on from there. Did you read the books, or did you?
Yes, I did. I did. I also credit it mainly to the Wikipedia though. So when we get auditions, you kind of get a character breakdown sent through. And so what was so attractive to me about the role was that, this twist was coming, and I only had to type in Lizzie Weems into the fan Wikipedia, and all of this information came up, and I was like, well, this is a bit wild. Wow, that's gonna be fun to play. And then I got the job, so it's always kind of been building up for me. I kind of knew, when I did season 4, season 5, I knew that this was coming for Lizzie. So I mean, it helped feed into, knowing that Lizzie was going to grow in this way and become a bit of a flirt and stuff like that. It really helps to build into how you play the character, because you know where the character needs to get. So I always liked, in a scene, trying to add in a little flirty eye with, I mean, if it wasn't you, it was just any man on set, basically. Sam was there a lot, so he got it.
Yeah, John,
of course he would.
young Ian got
young Ian, most definitely. Sometimes even David Berry.
David Berry.
Yeah, I mean, he's not bad to look at, so there we go.
He's not at all. He's a beautiful, gorgeous, lovely man. And yes, the books are like, I think the books, once I got the part and I started reading the books, they are like a Bible. They are just like a kind of how-to do it, because they're so detailed. The way Diana has has written these books, their backstories are so extensive. Like you say, like you get this just kind of like wave of information, and trying to like just pick everything for it to kind of fit into the show is overwhelming, but like so thankful at the same time. These characters have got like she's so good at world building that the universe just feels kind of really dense, which is a gift to actors, genuinely.
Yeah, definitely. Do you want to ask the next one?
I will.
I don't know how to pronounce that name, so I'm going to pass the baton over to you.
And, I think it's Gaelic. I think it is what Sam calls Claire, because I've seen it in the script, so I'm about to butcher it. So I think it's...
Then obviously I do know how to pronounce it if it's in the script.
But you don't say it. You wouldn't say it. So why?
Yeah.
Naheen. D.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Probably got that so wrong. How was it being directed by Jamie Payne, and what kind of advice or specific requirements did he have? Great storyline and brilliant acting.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, beautifully asked, Paul. Yeah, so Jamie Payne is amazing. Jamie Payne directed, I think it was 609,
607 and 608 for this season, yeah.
but last season,
For season
511,
5, she did 503 and
511. I said
504. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, but then he came back at the end because he directed my Lizzie goodbye scene with Brianna as well.
Yes,
So
we did, yeah.
I'd worked with him before and felt really safe with him. He's very much a director for actors. So, you know, I think he was an actor, so he definitely knows how to communicate with actors and to get the drama out of each scene, I think. And I mean, for me personally, knowing that these were going to be the two like big episodes for our characters, I was really grateful that we had him, felt really safe with him. And, you know, I think we all wanted the same thing, which was to make sure that this storyline was handled with tenderness and care, really, because obviously it is funny, it is a bit wacky, but also it's not to the people, you know, it's not to the characters, and it's not to the people who love the storylines as well, or maybe you love them because it is wacky, but yeah, those are my thoughts. Paul?
Yeah, no, I completely echo what you're saying. Like, he is
Season
just
5,
such a...
episode 12, someone's just said.
Thank you so much. Thank
Yeah.
you. He's just such a tremendous, kind of gentle, tactile, hands-on director, as you just kind of really well said. And I was really lucky to kind of like work with him in season 5 from my kind of first scene where you see both twins at the same time. And it was a lot of like a discussion about how we were going to do that, and I had a kind of few trips up to the studio to talk to him and a few phone calls, and he was just really just supportive and just very like vital and kind of like shaping my performance for the boys. Like, I genuinely have no idea where I would be without them, and I think a big thing for him was kind of finding the authenticity within the boys and within our relationship as well. Which was a big thing for this episode, was finding like some sort of like, you know, the authenticity in the relationship, and also the logic to why they fall in love. And he is just so good at kind of laying down foundations with actors that you could then build on. And I think a great thing about Jamie is that he just is so inclusive with you in the process, that you feel it is as much your art as it is his, and overall kind of viewpoint on it. Like, he's just so good with actors. Like as you said, Caitlin, it's just, I remember like that episode actually in season 5 where you see both twins. I think the focus in the scene is kind of mainly Josiah telling Claire and Jamie and Roger about their kind of predicament, and the militiamen are in the background. And I remember coming to set, and Jamie said hi to everybody, and I remember he would work with like, I think like 10 or 15 minutes with the militiamen who are included in the scene, but they don't have any dialogue to speak, and he would like talk about the kind of governed circumstances with them, and talk like really specific with them, which it just makes the sets so inclusive, and with the crew as well. He's a top-notch guy, and we're really lucky to have him.
In the episodes as well, when they're directed by Jamie, it's all about like relationships, and you know, he's great.
Fabulous. We love you, Jamie Payne. Love you.
Okay, moving on. Right.
Yes.
Decor 8 in Diva says, "Do tell, where can I find that ointment?"
Hey, where can you find it?
Everyone wants a slice. Clearly.
Holland and Barrett's.
Holland and Barrett, yeah, that is where most herbal remedies are found nowadays. If not in Claire's store cupboard, which we don't have access to anymore. Yeah.
No. What was the ointment again? Was it gallberries?
Yes, gallberries.
What do gallberries look like? Are they like they just look like berries?
I don't know. I can tell you what they feel like to be rubbed all over.
They're just like wee berries. I can tell what they feel like to get rubbed.
Right. I feel like we're getting questions live as well. I don't really know how to do this, to be honest.
Oh, do we?
Yes.
Oh, there
as
we are.
is
Look, it's like wee
Instagram Live.
things.
Right. What have you learned from Sam and Katrina? So
Oh.
much. It's impossible to say in one Instagram Live. We need many. Right. Okay. Do you want to ask one?
I'll ask one. Yeah. So what we got? We got Salty Stan 15. He's asking, or she's asking, or they are asking, what would my cat? Hello, you really want to get in this? I'm so sorry. That's a cat's butt. It's just in the way there. I'm gonna have to put her down, Caitlin. She's gonna jump at the phone. Come on,
Great.
hen.
I will
Come
fill
on.
this.
It's
That's a
good.
cat. Great.
Yeah.
We love cats.
We
Okay,
do
I'll ask
love
the
cats.
question. What
You
would
ask the question.
Lizzie and the twins' ship name be?
Oh.
And I feel like that means like an amalgamation of names, yeah, as opposed to the name of their boat. Down with the kids.
You are very good.
Right.
What would it be? We had one.
Twizzy.
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 Yeah. Busy. The beard sleeves and Lizzie.
Whoa. They do get busy.
They do get busy.
Yeah. I like that.
I like that.
Yeah.
Lizzie and Josiah would be Jizzy, and Kezzy and Lizzie would be Kizzy. I feel we couldn't go for like the other side of their names. I think the Izzy part of Lizzie just sounds good.
It's the most fluid, I think. I have a question for you. Which twin do you prefer? Or is that like trying to choose between your cats?
That is like trying to choose between my cats, or worse, my children. I have no children, but I feel like that's how it would feel like.
But if you had to.
Yeah, if I had to.
Who do you enjoy playing more?
I'm not falling into that trap, Lizzie. I
Wow.
love my boys as equally as each other. But I will say this. Both boys' costumes are incredible, and the costume department is wonderful. But in Scotland, it's very cold when we shoot, and Josiah is like, he's showing a bit of chest with his costume. He's like he's got his wee denim jacket on, which I don't think is denim, but it looks like a wee denim jacket. I feel like I'm dead 80s when I'm wearing
Josiah's got a bit of style.
Josiah's got some style kicking, but he's showing a lot of chest, so it gets a bit chilly. Whereas Kezzy, he's got like 3 or 4 waistcoats on. That boy is prepared.
He knows how to dress for the warmth. Yeah,
he knows how to dress for Fraser's fridge, as you like to call it, Fraser's fridge, because it gets cold.
It does.
So for costume wise, if it's cold, absolutely Kezzy. But if I had to choose one of the two, I couldn't. Who's your favourite? Who's Lizzie's favourite?
I can't tell them apart. Neither can Lizzie. I like them both. They're both nice to me. That's why I keep them both. Right.
Question.
Okay. Next question. Paulami.
Oh.
I wonder if that's a salami pun.
I think so.
Paulami tweets asks, which were your audition scenes and chemistry tests together?
Good question.
Well, yeah, so I was in a season before Paul, so I had the honour of being at Paul's chemistry read, which was fun. I saw Paul coming in for his little audition, about to blow everyone's socks off, and he did.
Do you remember me coming in really early? Or were you there at that point?
Yes, I do, and you got sent away. Yeah, I do remember
I
that.
got there so early because I got the recall, I think it was 2 days before the date, and I don't know London that well, so I was like, I don't know where I'm going, so I was like, I'll get there super early, and I got there like super early, so early, I think I was an hour early. I was like, that's too early to show up. So I walked around that area, which is, what's it called again? I can't remember what it's called. It's got a funny name. I can't remember.
Town, no?
Kentish Town.
Yeah.
It's a wee bit like Kent, but not really. So it's Kentish Town. And I just walked about for ages, and I was like, okay, I come 15 minutes early. That'd be fine. And I rocked up, and they were like, "You're too early." And I was like, "There's somebody in." I was like, "Okay."
People were having the lunch.
They were having
the
lunch.
Kettle on.
They put the kettle on. They were like, "You leave. You need to leave." So I went to the pub, had no alcohol, and sat down. But like, yeah. So my my audition scene was the scene with the 2 boys when they first see each other. Where
you mean
Sam and Cat.
You play? Two boys, I can't remember the names.
Those two, I keep calling them like as if they're like a different part of me. The two boys. That was my first one with when Josiah's like retelling the kind of history. What was your one?
My
Audition scene. Your audition
my audition scene. I had three. Mine was one was when Lizzie first tells Brianna that she'd seen Jamie when they'd arrived.
Oh yeah.
That was quite a fun one. And then I had another one, which, you know, clearly impacted me. It was when, yes, it was a big one. It was when Lizzie tells Jamie about Brianna and where Lizzie gets it wrong, and she tells Jamie that Roger assaulted Brianna. So that was my second one. And then my third one was cut to, like, you know, 2 seasons later, was the scene that I did with Katrina. So in this episode, so that's how I knew that you know, she gets with the twins, because I'd shot it for yeah. But when we did the chemistry read together, I think they plucked something out of the book, maybe, or they had written something for purpose, just because they wanted to see us stare into each other's eyes and see.
They had stare into each other's eyes. Well, we were like shooting a bow. Do you remember? We were like, I was teaching you how to shoot a bow, which is hilarious because I had never shot a bow. No, I was not into a bow. I remember being on the train, because I got the sides while I was on the train down in London. I was like YouTubing like how to shoot a bow. I'm pretty sure like I looked up like Orlando Bloom shooting a bow in like Lord of the Rings to be like, how would an actor shoot a bow?
Someone's just asked what our first impressions were of each other. That's quite fun.
That's a cute one.
What did I think? Paul is the nicest human in the world. I mean, we started talking straight away, didn't we? Because we had quite a lot in common. We knew similar people. I think that helped both of us. I mean, you know, it made us, because I was still a bit nervous, even though I'd never done a chemistry read before, so that settled me. And I think, you know, it just made us feel easier, didn't it?
Yeah, totally.
I thought Paul was lovely. Thought he was the nicest human ever, and he has not changed my mind.
Right back at you, Caitlin.
No, thanks.
You were just so kind and just so chatty, and I was like, genuinely, I think I don't know if I told you this, but like at that chemistry read through, I was extremely nervous, but like that wee chat we had before we went in just totally like shot all those nerves away. You just really, you got me the part, Caitlin, is what I'm saying.
So I should have like 15% of your income.
I think that would be
that's
right.
How it works.
I think that's in the contract, actually. I'll need to look over,
well, I mean, we can talk about that after this. We won't.
We talk about that after. It's
legality
a Instagram live.
Okay. Next question. Okay. Do you want to go?
I'll go. I am letting you do so much. I should jump in. Okay. From Opata Woman, she is saying, you both have joined an amazing ensemble of actors. What will be your most cherished memories of your time together? A nice question.
What will be one of my favourite things that I did shooting Outlander was the wedding, Brianna and Roger's wedding. That first week in April, like the weather was beautiful. We were all put in a hotel together. It actually felt like a family wedding. I just had so much fun. And whenever like it comes back up as memories in my phone of like pictures I took that day, that just felt like such a bonding experience for so much of the cast, because everyone was there at that point. Like everyone who was in the cast in that season had kind of been invited to the wedding, and we all hung out for like a week, and it was right at the beginning, so it felt like a good, you know, start. And then we were doing night shoots and we were filming the wedding dance and stuff, and that was
you got to do a bit of dancing, didn't you?
Got to do a bit of dancing. To no music, which was a bit crazy. Silent disco, you had to wear a little piece in your ear, and everyone was pretending to clap.
That must have been so surreal to see.
Yeah,
but like, what are these people doing?
In a forest by a stream. It was beautiful. How about you?
I think I want to kind of copy you. It is like, so I wasn't invited to the wedding, which is fair because I was just a hunter and new to the ridge. But it was the scene just after that with the kind of Celtic cross, of the kind of burning of the fiery cross. Purely
that was quite epic for you to like be involved in straight away.
Absolutely, I think
that was like a Braveheart moment.
That was a total Braveheart moment. Sam Heughan coming out in a kilt and a sword, and I was like, oh my god, here we are. I just had never experienced. I mean, the week before, which was my first couple of days, was a total whirlwind. because it was my first ever screen role. I'd never been on a proper set before, so that was overwhelming in a lovely way. But then seeing that and being a part of this massive kind of group scene was just like unreal. It was like everything you'd kind of dreamt of, and there was just like a total like magic in the air. And like as you said again, it was a night shoot, so like there was a lot of like camaraderie and meeting people for the first time.
Kind
like
of felt like a sleepover that you had at school, and everyone was just like behaving. It took like the formality out of it, didn't it?
Totally,
totally.
It was
so
magical.
nice to like get to know people in that way, and yeah, lovely.
It was just wicked.
Right. Well, yeah, because I remember like we were staying in a hotel and it had a little pool, and me and Hugh Ross went shopping for swimming costumes together.
Oh, nice!
That was a nice little bonding experience. Hugh Ross.
Did you go wee dip in the pool then?
Oh, we had many a dip together.
Oh, I'm so
jealous.
It
was wonderful.
Because I live in Glasgow, I didn't go in the hotel. Thank goodness. Well,
yeah,
next time. Next wedding, I'll be getting
actually being Scottish and having a home near where you should. Right, next question.
Right.
I don't know.
Okay.
AAR sick. So sorry for butchering that. What's the one piece of best acting advice you each have received from Katrina and Sam?
Oh, that's a good question. So my best one from Sam was, it was again that first day with both the twins. I'd never done any kind of like CGI VFX thing before, and I remember kind of having like it was quite challenging knowing where my eye line was and knowing like kind of using the blue screen and how to do that basically. And Sam, I think, had just finished doing is it Bloodshot? Is it the film he did with Vin Diesel? And he talked about how he has like arms coming out of him, and knowing how like what you play with your eyes is you kind of dictate the scene in a way, and they will like kind of edit it around it. Obviously, you have your parameters and you work with that, but like you can like change the scene and be as creative as you think it is.
Wow.
Was a bit of advice he gave me, which was really useful and like really informative. Like this season we've just done, and season 5 as well. And cool. Katrina, we've talked about this before about Katrina. She's just so intelligent. I think you quoted fearlessly intelligent.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what I was about to say. Like, I'm sure I've had acting advice from them, but for me, it's just watching how they are on set is like the most inspiring thing. And because I think we've said about them before, but they really set the precedence and like the tone of how the set's going to be, and it's really light and fun, and they're so kind and generous with like new people coming in. They have no ego. They're both so intelligent. They're so kind. Like Katrina is fiercely intelligent. Like, my God, like she's the most intelligent person I know.
I completely agree. Yeah.
Just the way that she is with the crew and like the directors, and you know, she's compassionate but also she's strong, and I really respect that, and that's something that, you know, I hope to take on with me moving forwards.
Totally, yeah. They're just so inclusive. Sam and Kat, and also Sophie and Richard as well. Like they are just. You feel like your ideas, even though we're supporting characters to this amazing story, like our ideas are just as valuable as theirs or the directors. It never. I think that was when I was coming onto the show, I was thinking, oh, do I have a voice? And I definitely do, and it's just from their kind of attitude. So they're amazing.
Yeah. Shall we have another question?
Yeah. Do you want me to read out one?
Yeah.
Okay, the next one is from AC25. So for either of us, what genre haven't you had a chance to do yet, but you would really want to? That's a big question.
That is a big question. I'd love to do like, well, I know it's not a genre, but I'd love to do a bit of theatre. And also like comedy. I like doing comedy.
You're good at comedy.
Oh, thanks. Tell us a joke. No, I won't. What about you, Paul?
Banter. This is not a genre. Something modern, I suppose, would be nice.
Yes, contemporary.
I mean, it's been doing period drama has been incredible, and I would love to do more in the future, obviously, as well. But it'd been nice because we've been doing it for so long. It'd been nice to do something Set in the modern day, have some pockets in your costume, which would be nice.
I got pockets put in for my 3rd season.
You did not?
Yeah, I did. I think once you get to the 3rd season, they start to give you pockets. It comes in the contract.
I've missed my chance. I can't believe that.
Yeah,
so yeah,
that's
something
actually
modern.
exactly what I would say. Something contemporary and in my own accent. That's always.
So, yeah, that'd be great. Your Scottish accent's beautiful, by the way, as you know.
Thanks.
You know this already, but it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Something modern or like a thriller or something like that. I love a wee thriller.
Oh,
but anything. Happy to do anything. Happy to do anything. Right.
Next. Okay. Outlander Love. What is
that's a good
thing
name.
to do in Scotland when you're not filming?
Living, because I love here. Yeah, so I'm from Scotland. As you can probably tell by the accent. And I've like grown up in Glasgow. I still live in Glasgow. So I've got a lot of my friends still here. I was lucky enough to study here as well, so I've got a lot of my friends from that. We do everything and everything. We sometimes go long walks in Loch Lomond. Sometimes I would go hill walking with my pals.
Dating
I just went to Loch Lomond with my close friends, and we've got some great pubs. Got a good nightlife in Glasgow. Got some good restaurants as well. What else? I feel like I'm like a travel tourism. We have got great bars and great restaurants. We've got a good theatre scene as well. Me and you have been to a few plays in Glasgow.
Play and a pool. That's what we did.
Play pie and a pool. That was great. Yeah. What have you been up to in Glasgow?
What I love doing in Glasgow is, the food is just incredible. The food's amazing. Like the little restaurants, and Glasgow's so cool. It very much reminds me of Manchester, so I feel very at home there. Food is great. Has the most vegan restaurants, food options in Europe. I think you told me that.
Is it actually? I'll take that.
You did not tell me that. I'm telling you that. It does.
Really?
Yeah, it does.
But yeah, you took me to a few vegan places, and I don't think I'd had vegan food until I met you, and it's amazing.
You've never had a vegetable?
What's that? We don't have them in Scotland.
No.
We've got potatoes, but that's about it. No, yeah, the vegan food seems amazing. It's really good up in Scotland, especially in Glasgow as well, like you said. It's beautiful.
Right. Next one.
Next question. Do you want me to read this one out?
Sure.
So, Jaylin Worth 10 wants to know, well, she says, we love to watch Outlander, but she wants to know, so what shows do you love to watch, Caitlin O'Ryan?
What shows do I love to watch? Many shows.
Variety.
Recently finished Succession. I was so late to that, but that was.
Oh, I didn't know you were watching that. Oh, you did. You said you were watching the first season.
That was so amazing.
What'd you think of the finale? Without spoiling anything, did you like it?
What, when they all dies?
No.
Very, very good. How about you, Paul?
I love Succession. It's incredible. I was like in a lockdown watch for me. What have I watched recently? I've recently watched This Is Going to Hurt. Have you seen that? This Is Going to Hurt.
No, but I've read it.
Oh, have you read it?
Yeah.
I think it's a lot of the book is just in the TV show, but they've introduced like a few characters. That's amazing. A hard watch, but also like kind of like pierced with kind of comedy as well. And Ben Whishaw is incredible, as is the full cast. What else have I been watching? Watching Moon Knight on Disney Plus. Be Marvel fan. That's been fun. Oscar Isaac's amazing. I'd love to like those kind of things. I like a variety, comedy. Been watching The Office recently, the US Office. I never watched that before. That's fun, easy to watch. Parks and Rec.
Quite the catalogue.
Quite the catalogue.
Follow Paul on Instagram. You can have further recommendations.
That's what I am. You want to go for the next question? Oh, I like this next question.
Okay, go on then.
This is a lovely one. Mayon Egg, which is a great name. Inquiring minds would like to know, what is your favourite dinosaur or prehistoric animal?
That is an inquiring mind. Good question.
That's a nice one.
My favourite was always, I don't know how to say it, but a diplodocus, because it was the only vegetarian one. And when I was little and I was brought up vegetarian.
Diplodocus.
Yeah, and like it was
So
still kind of
cute.
weird at that point to be a vegetarian, and my
Oh,
parents were like, "You're not the only one."
you felt seen. You felt seen by the Diplodocus.
So seen, and it has such a long neck.
It's
Yeah,
so peaceful as well. The
yeah,
Diplodocus.
lovely. Yeah. How about you?
My favorite one. I used to love dinosaurs when I was a kid. I think every kid just loves dinosaurs because they're just magical. And my favorite one, I used to get this this dinosaur encyclopedia from the library every week. When I was like 3 or 4, and you just look at the dinosaurs. And there was one in it that I chose, which was called the Gigantosaurus, and I chose it purely for, as the name would suggest, is a big massive predator. And I was like, I was recently thinking this actually, just because it was actually the Natural History Museum. I was like, that's such a lazy answer. It's like, oh, I just chose the biggest predator. So I think mine's is an iguanodon, which is, if you've seen Pixar's Dinosaur, or is it Disney's Dinosaur? That is what he is, and it's like a friendly plant-eating dinosaur. So I would say that, or a mammoth. You kind of beat a mammoth.
My sisters just texted me to say that the majority of dinosaurs were apparently vegetarians. Thank you. Didn't realize you were here.
Thank you, Caitlin's sister.
Thank you so much for keeping facts factual in this Instagram live. We want nothing but facts.
We want to be checked for facts, absolutely.
Okay. Right, now I've got some questions for you, Paul.
Oh my God.
I'm going to hit you.
Hit me with them.
Let's go. Toledo for Pete says, how do they create the illusion of twins on set?
Very good question. I have no idea. No idea, no. It is a bit of magic. It is, we use, for that kind of first scene where you saw both boys, it was, we used a blue screen. And I was very blessed with 2 lovely doubles that I've had in the past 2 seasons, Dylan Blower and Danny McGuire. And I got to work with them. So they would give me a lot of kind of acting that I would just steal and use for my own performance because they were excellent. So I always had somebody to act to, which was brilliant. But sometimes also they would then be taken out the scene. A couple of times I would just have to act to mid-air, which at first was thinking was quite daunting. But actually we do that a lot in theatre. We do monologues to open air to just the audience. So it was something that I was used to, but also not at the same time. And we had a lot of kind of tennis ball acting, it's called, where you have like a wee golf ball and you're kind of acting to that as well. If with Daniel and Dylan were out the scene, then I would have that there. So there was a lot of that, a lot of blue screen, a lot of double action. But yeah, Outlander have been great at just kind of making me feel really supported in that, because I've never done anything like that in life.
No.
Yeah. So
I think it's pretty rare too. I think that's quite normal.
Yeah.
I'd be surprised if that's something you had.
Yeah, I know. That is so true. But yeah, so there was a lot of blue screen, a lot of amazing effects by John and Michelle, who are VFX people. Yeah, it's a lot of good magic involved.
Yeah. It's
cool.
great.
Do you want to ask another question, or can I ask you a question?
Oh, why don't you ask me one? Let's going. Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you a question. Okay, for Caitlin. So Liz Hearn, LZ Hearn, is asking.
No vowels.
No vowels
no.
in her name at all. She's quite brave, or they're quite brave, or he's quite brave.
Yeah.
So how did you manage to stay in character when telling Claire that the twins are the same everywhere? Brackets, I give a lot to see a video of the table read laughing.
Yeah. Well, tell you what, that was a stickler to get my mouth around saying those words. It was, I mean, 'tis what is written in the book, so
yeah.
Put into it. I mean, when I first read that, it really did make me laugh and think, oh God, how am I going to do this on the day? But actually, when it came to the day, and I think when we did the first rehearsal, we did have a little bit of a laugh about it. But like we said before, like, we all knew that we wanted to handle this storyline with care, and because it's very funny to us as outsiders, but to Lizzie it's life or death, and for the twins it is, and it has to be believable in that moment what she's saying, in order to make the rest of the episode make sense. The decisions that she makes and the decisions to go behind Claire and Jamie's back. So you know, I think we definitely did have a laugh, and obviously because we were doing the table reads on Zoom at that point, which we still are because of COVID. So thankfully, everyone else was muted when I had to say those lines for the first time. So I was dying inside, but I couldn't hear anyone else's reaction. But then the more you say it, the more you get used to it. And listen, I can say we paps now, and I feel absolutely nothing.
Hashtag free the paps.
Free the paps, yeah.
But like what you said, Claire, Caitlin, it's just like who called you Claire there? What you said, like it is like grounded in like a sincerity, and it is life and death for them, and like the way you played it as well is like so vulnerable and so honest, and it's like them kind of exploring their sexuality, and like everything that she's listing is exciting to her, and it's like, and it's beautiful, and it's just so fresh for her, and like that just comes across like so well. So like there is like a comic element to it, but there is like a kind of beauty to it as well.
There is, and their love is like so pure. And I think, you know, we said it in some of the interviews that we did the other day, that don't necessarily know whether it was a sexual thing for like Lizzie and the twins. I think it was more just like a extension of the love and care that they have for each other, and it just became the most natural thing in the world for them. And the ointment made it easier. Okay. Next question. The Paulinators. This is your fan group, Paul.
We love them. We love them.
Fun. It's hilarious. Right.
It's great.
Now that Kezzy's hearing speaking makes each twin harder to identify, what things do you do to differentiate? That's a hard thing to say. I just glitched. Right. What thing do you do to differentiate Joe and Kezzy as you've portrayed each one?
Very good question. That was interesting. That was a thing to think about when we were going into this season. It was how to distinguish them even more, because the big thing in season 5 was to focus on was one for Josiah about his job as a hunter and how that affects him, his physicality, the way he speaks, the way he interacts with his environment, and then for Kezzy, it was because he is of partial hearing. And so we worked with a deaf consultant who's a close friend of mine, who's B. Webster, and Caroline Crawford, who is our dialect coach, who's incredible, and Jamie Payne as well. And a big focus for that was making both boys as authentic as possible. But for Kezzy, it was how he interacted with his environment, how he interacted with the people that he talked to, and B was a kind of big focus in making that as grounded as possible. But now, a few months later, in season 6, Kezzy has hearing's healed quite a lot. Elements of it's still there. So drawing on that, we kind of added a different quality to his voice, because that is just what naturally happens when someone has partial hearing, dependent on the case, obviously, as well. So we added that. For Josiah, he's a bit more relaxed now. He's kind of going into his own a bit. He's finding love, as we find. So he's a bit not as soldier-like as he was in season 5 and earnest to please. He's finding himself a bit more. And another thing for Kezzy was, because in season 5 and season 6 as well, we have some home signs, because that's how the boys communicated, or that's how we thought they would communicate when they were in their indentured servitude. I added a kind of wee kind of thing that I'm actually doing right now, is like holding my hands a wee bit more, like a nimbleness in my hands when I was Kezzy, which you might not notice. It might not have made the cut in the.
Well, funny you should say that, Paul.
Oh.
There's actually another question here for you that I'm going to run onto it if you don't mind.
Connection of a question.
Yeah, it links. During the handfast in the barn between Kezzy and Lizzie, this is from Cats and Gilts too. Hello, Cats and Gilts. Kezzy signed something to Joe, a closed fist over his heart. I know you and B created signs for the twins, so what did Kezzy sign? I thought it might mean sorry since he won and felt bad for Joe.
For the stable scene, yes, that's a good guess. And to be honest, that is a part of I think what I was maybe thinking when I was looking at Josiah was in the eyes, it was all, I'm so sorry. But that home sign that we did meant love. It kind of meant that although this is what appears to be me and Lizzie's wedding, it's actually all of our weddings.
Yeah.
This moment's not just for me and Lizzie, it's for you as well. So
Yeah.
that kind of touch to the heart was to kind of illustrate that. And
Yeah.
thankfully, we have the next scene where we go to Roger and Brianna's cabin, and we get to have that moment for Josiah as well. So they both have that kind of celebration of love. But it was just a wee thing that we thought, and Jamie kind of he supported it as well to kind of just add that in the scene as a wee nod that you're part of this as much as we are.
Yeah. Just from having watched you and the care that you take with playing these twins as well, I think, you know, you've proven how much work you do put into trying to get it right for everyone, and I think you're great. Right.
I think you're great as well too, Caitlin Ryan. I've got another question for you though.
Cool.
Before we wrap up, Kate Ryan fans, your fan group are asking, the Lizzie and Twins storyline has elements of fun and lightness, which is much needed in season 6 because it's a tough season. But I've always felt that for Lizzie, it was also a very deep and sincere thing. How do you approach playing Lizzie and all her complex feelings this season? That's a big question.
Big question. Yes. Hello, first of all. Yeah. I guess we've touched on this throughout. The story is light, and you know, it is a moment of relief for the audience. But like we said, like for Lizzie, it's so important. And I've always thought, like, my motivation for Lizzie has always been to play it as she's like looking for security. And you know, she came over to America with Brianna, and she was kind of ripped from stability, and since then has been kind of drastically looking for someone to connect with and to settle down with, and to have what Brianna's had or to have what Claire has. That's always been my intention behind the decisions that she makes. And then I guess when she finds the twins, that is that in motion. Like, that is her finding the thing that she's been looking for so long. And I think what we've said about why Lizzie and the twins cling to each other is because they both come from instability, and you know, essentially have been orphaned. Like, Lizzie's dad is left in Scotland, and the twins don't have anyone, and that's kind of what's bonded them so deeply. And that's brought them together. How did I approach playing Lizzie and her complex feelings this season? Well, I just thought back to when I was about 14 years old and fancied everyone. And yeah, I just kind of channeled that, really. And you know, and I think what I've said, what has been a joy about playing Lizzie is really growing up alongside her. And I know that we're different ages and stuff, but said it before, like, you know, coming onto the show was a huge journey for me in the same way that it was for Lizzie, and it's been about her finding her place amongst the storyline in the same way it's been me finding my place amongst this huge machine and this huge cast. And I think that scene, particularly with Katrina, felt like all those things just kind of melded together, and it just felt very raw to play that scene, actually. And you know, I credit Jamie Payne so much for getting me to the place that I needed to get with it, because like it's a huge thing for her, and it's life and death, that moment, and she can't just have one because she loves them both, and I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and like, just to say, Caitlin, it's been amazing seeing your kind of journey as that character from season 4 to season 6. It's you can see the kind of growth in her. Like, she's always had strength in her from her like her loyalty to Brianna and her loyalty to the Frasers, but in this season, excuse me, in particular, you get to see that strength because she's standing on her own shoulders. She's standing like and fighting for what she loves, and it's beautiful to see. And you deliver it with such care and sensitivity that it's been an absolute pleasure to see.
Thanks, Paul.
I mean it. I absolutely mean it.
Oh, thanks. Right. Well, I mean, Do you have any further questions, Paul?
I don't know if I do. I think
we've chatted on for 50 minutes, and I
is
don't
that
know
what it's been? Oh my
it's been a
days.
while, hasn't it?
That was me
Time
asking what you've been up to.
yeah, having
So
fun.
what you've been up to? Who's the family?
Maybe we should move this off Instagram Live.
I think we should. I think we should.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you so much for tuning in.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for being so supportive.
Yeah, it means the
these
world
past few years.
And we see it all, like,
we do.
Yeah, and we feel the love, and we hope you enjoy the rest of the season.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, guys.
Bye.
We'll see you soon.
How do I end this thing?